Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something, well, something I think a lot of us wonder about, maybe even dream about, you could say. Burning fat while we sleep.
Yeah, it sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it?
It really does. But the thing is, even when you're completely out, your body's actually still hard at work, burning calories just to keep things running.
Absolutely. It's a common misconception that sleep is just this passive state where everything shuts down. Metabolically, it's surprisingly active.
So our mission today is really to unpack the science behind that, the nighttime fat burning and figure out how we can maybe help it along a bit.
Exactly. Let's get past that myth that your metabolism just clocks out when your head hits the pillow. It's just not how it works.
Right. Okay, let's jump in then. What's actually going on, metabolically speaking, while we're asleep?
Well, first off, your metabolism is active all night long. It has to be. On average, you might burn somewhere in the ballpark of, say, 300 to 500 calories just sleeping.
Well, okay.
But that number, it's not fixed, right? It varies quite a bit depending on your body weight, your personal metabolic rate, even how well you're sleeping that night.
So even though we're not, running a 10K in our dreams,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
our basal metabolic rate, our BMR, is still chugging along, just basic upkeep?
Precisely. Your BMR covers all those essential functions: breathing, circulation, cell production, all that stuff. It's running 24/7, including during sleep.
Yeah.
And when we talk specifically about burning fat stores, the term is lipolysis. Think of it as your body unlocking fat cells to use as fuel. It's like switching to the reserve tank.
Lipolysis. Got it.
Yeah.
So how do our actual sleep cycles, like REM and deep sleep, factor into this fat breakdown?
That's where it gets really interesting. It connects strongly to sleep stages, particularly REM sleep.
Okay.
During REM, your brain activity ramps way up. It's almost like you're awake, activity-wise, and that burns a lot of glucose, your brain's preferred quick energy source.
Right, brain fuel.
Yeah. So as the night goes on and you cycle through REM, those readily available glucose stores start to dwindle. The body then naturally has to shift gears and start tapping more into fat reserves for energy. It really highlights why getting those complete sleep cycles multiple times through the night is so important. You need that time for the shift to happen effectively.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Use the easy stuff first, then dig deeper if you're asleep long enough.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned hormones earlier, and I've definitely heard about growth hormone and sleep. How does GH fit in?
Oh, growth hormone is a huge player here. A really significant portion of your daily GH release, we're talking maybe 70, even 75%, happens during deep sleep.
That's 75%. Wow.
Yeah, it's massive. And GH does a lot for metabolism. It directly stimulates lipolysis, that fat breakdown we mentioned. It also helps preserve muscle mass, which is metabolically active tissue.
So it helps you burn fat and keep muscle.
Exactly. Plus, it aids in overall recovery and repair and helps regulate metabolism generally. So consistently falling short on sleep, especially deep sleep, that directly misses with this crucial hormone release.
Okay, so less sleep equals less GH, which means less fat burning and maybe even less muscle maintenance.
You got it. It's not just about feeling tired. It actively hampers these processes.
Okay, now what about cortisol? That's the stress hormone, right? Usually gets painted as the bad guy.
Well, cortisol's role is kind of complex, a bit Jekyll and Hyde, you could say. Naturally, it's supposed to be highest in the morning, helps wake us up, get us going, and then it should gradually decrease throughout the day, hitting its lowest point in the first few hours of sleep. That natural rhythm, that dip at night, is really important.
Why is that?
Because low nighttime cortisol allows for that optimal growth hormone release we just talked about. And generally, balanced cortisol supports efficient fat metabolism.
But the problem arises when that rhythm gets thrown off, which, let's be honest, happens a lot.
Exactly right. Things like late night screen use, chronic stress, maybe eating too late, or just having a really erratic sleep schedule, all that stuff can keep cortisol levels elevated when they should be dropping.
And high cortisol at night is bad news for fat loss.
Yeah, it can essentially slam the brakes on fat burning and can even signal your body to store more fat, especially, that stubborn belly fat.
Okay, so GH and cortisol have this intricate dance going on. Are there other key hormones involved in this nighttime metabolic picture?
Oh, definitely. It's like a whole hormonal orchestra playing. Insulin sensitivity is another big one.
How does sleep affect that?
Quality sleep actually makes your cells more responsive, more sensitive to insulin. Insulin is what helps shuttle glucose, blood sugar, out of the bloodstream and into your cells to be used for energy.
Right.
So better sensitivity means glucose gets used efficiently rather than sticking around and potentially getting stored as fat.
Makes sense.
And here's the kicker. Research shows that even one single night of poor sleep can decrease insulin sensitivity by like 25 to 30%.
Just one night. That's pretty dramatic.
It is. It shows how quickly things can get disrupted. Then you've got leptin and ghrelin.
The hunger hormones.
That's them. Leptin basically tells your brain, okay, I'm full, stop eating. Ghrelin does the opposite. It screams, I'm hungry, feed me. When you don't sleep well, this delicate balance goes haywire. Leptin levels tend to drop, so you feel less satisfied, and ghrelin levels surge, making you feel hungrier.
So that's why I crave donuts after pulling an all-nighter. It's not just willpower.
Exactly. It's your hormones working against you. It's a physiological drive for often high-calorie, sugary foods because your body's signaling systems are off.
Okay. Anyways, what about melatonin? I just think of it for falling asleep.
Yeah, we usually do, but its role seems to be broader than just regulating sleep-wake cycles. There's some really interesting emerging research suggesting melatonin might help activate brown fat. That's the metabolically active fat that actually burns calories to create heat. It might also improve insulin sensitivity and support mitochondrial function.
Mitochondria, the cell's power plants.
Right. So melatonin might be playing a deeper role in overall metabolic health than we previously thought. Still early days on some of that research, but it's promising.
Fascinating. Okay, we've got a good handle on the science now, the why. Let's pivot to the how. What practical things can people actually do to maximize this overnight fat metabolism?
Well, the absolute number one thing, the foundation, is prioritizing sleep itself, both quality and quantity.
Right. Aiming for that 7 to 9 hour window we always hear about.
Exactly, because, as we've discussed, consistently dipping below, say, 6 hours, that has real, measurable negative impacts on those hormones. Ghrelin goes up, leptin goes down, cortisol stays high, GH gets suppressed. You're setting yourself up for metabolic trouble.
So rule 1, just get enough good sleep. Seems obvious, but maybe not always easy. What about food?
Yeah.
Does when we eat matter?
Yeah, timing can definitely play a role. A good general guideline is to try and finish your last main meal about 3 to 4 hours before you plan to hit the sack.
Okay, give your digestion some time.
Right. And it's probably wise to avoid really heavy carb-loaded meals right before bed. That can spike insulin when you don't really need that energy surge.
What if you get hungry later?
If you're genuinely hungry, a small snack focused on protein, maybe some healthy fat, is usually better than carbs. Think like a small handful of nuts or some Greek yogurt. It can help keep blood sugar stable without causing a big insulin response right before sleep. The goal is better insulin sensitivity overnight.
Gotcha. What about the sleep environment? I've heard keeping the room cool is good for sleep quality. Does temperature link to metabolism too?
It does, potentially. Sleeping in a cooler room, maybe somewhere around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 18 to 20 Celsius, might help activate what's called brown adipose tissue, or BE.
Brown fat, you mentioned that with melatonin.
Yep. Unlike regular white fat that stores energy, brown fat actually burns calories to generate heat. It's called non-shivering thermogenesis.
So turn down the thermostat, potentially burn a few extra calories just staying warm under the covers.
That's the idea. It's probably not a massive effect, but it's a simple tweak that might give a little metabolic nudge in the right direction, and it helps most people sleep better anyway.
Cool, literally. Okay, what about exercise? Does working out affect how we burn fat overnight?
Absolutely. Exercise, especially strength training, has benefits that extend well beyond the workout itself.
How so?
Resistance training, lifting weights, or bodyweight exercises can elevate your resting metabolic rate, your BMR, for up to 24 hours afterward. This is sometimes called the afterburn effect.
So you're burning more calories even while resting, including sleeping.
Exactly. Plus, building more lean muscle mass through strength training increases your baseline metabolism overall, because muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat tissue does. Timing matters a bit, though. Doing intense exercise right before bed might interfere with sleep for some people.
So maybe aim for earlier in the day or afternoon workouts.
Generally, yes. That seems to work best for most people in terms of optimizing both the metabolic boost and sleep quality.
Okay, and we talked about cortisol, so managing evening stress must be pretty key too.
Hugely important. Creating a relaxing pre-sleep routine is crucial for helping those cortisol levels naturally decline. Winding down is not just about feeling calm. It's about shifting your body's hormonal state.
What kind of things help?
Anything that works for you, really. Gentle stretching, maybe some meditation or deep breathing exercises, reading a physical book, not a screen, taking a warm bath, journaling. Anything that signals to your body it's time to switch off the fight or flight mode.
Makes sense. Now, we see a lot about specific supplements or like metabolic support tonics aimed at nighttime. What's the deal with those? Do they actually work?
Well, a well-formulated tonic or supplement can be a helpful piece of the puzzle. The idea isn't that they magically melt fat away, but rather that they help create a more optimal internal environment to support your body's own natural fat-burning processes during sleep.
So they're supporters, not the main event. What kind of ingredients are we talking about?
Several ingredients show promise based on research. Magnesium is a big one.
Why magnesium?
It's involved in hundreds of enzymatic reactions, including metabolic ones. It also promotes relaxation and can improve sleep quality. And importantly, magnesium deficiency is linked to things like insulin resistance and poor sleep, both of which hinder fat metabolism.
Okay, what else?
Adaptogenic herbs are popular, like ashwagandha or rhodiola. These can help your body become more resilient to stress and help regulate cortisol levels, which, as we know, is crucial at night.
Adaptogens, right? Helping the body adapt to stress.
Precisely. Then there's an amino acid called glycine. Some studies suggest it can improve sleep quality and might help lower core body temperature slightly during sleep.
Which could tie back to that cool room effect.
Potentially, yeah. Lower core temp might enhance GH secretion and maybe even brown fat activity. L-theanine is another interesting one, found in green tea. It promotes relaxation and alpha brain waves, that calm, focused state without causing drowsiness. This might help you ease into deeper, more restorative sleep stages.
So relaxed but not knocked out.
Kind of, yeah. And then you might see things like zinc, which supports healthy hormone levels, including testosterone, important for muscle tissue, and chromium, which plays a role in insulin function and keeping blood sugar stable.
Okay, quite a few potential helpers there.
But it's really crucial to reiterate, these are supportive. They work best when the fundamentals, sleep habits, diet, exercise, stress management, are already being addressed. They don't override a poor lifestyle.
Right, no magic potions. It's about optimizing the conditions for your body to do its job. So bringing it all together, what's the realistic takeaway for someone listening who wants to leverage sleep for better fat metabolism?
I think the main thing is perspective. Optimizing sleep is a genuinely powerful tool for metabolic health and fat management, grounded in solid science. But it's one part of a bigger picture.
It complements diet and exercise, it doesn't replace them.
Exactly. It works synergistically. Also, individual results will vary. Genetics, lifestyle, consistency, it all plays a role. Getting your hormones balanced takes time and consistent effort.
So patience is key.
Definitely. And focus less on just the number on the scale day to day and more on long-term trends in body composition, how your clothes fit, how you feel, your energy levels. Those are often better indicators of progress.
That's great advice. It really underscores that sleep isn't just downtime. It's crucial active recovery and regulation time, a foundational pillar, really.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The link between sleep quality and metabolic function, including fat metabolism, is undeniable. Understanding how these nighttime processes work and supporting them can make a real difference.
And like you said, it's not just about fat metabolism. Prioritizing sleep pays off huge dividends for cognitive function, mood, immune health, just overall well-being.
Absolutely. Investing in good sleep is truly an investment in your total health. Full stop.
This has been incredibly insightful. Really makes you think. So for everyone listening, considering how much just one bad night can throw your hormones off kilter, one small manageable change you could maybe try implementing tonight to nudge your sleep in a better direction. Something to ponder as you wind down. Thanks for this deep dive.